Anybody know the rule we want to stay away from? You ever heard of the 5-10-20 rule? 5 inches for the side bags or the seat bags, 10 inches for the steering wheel, and 20 for the passenger dash bag. So we want to stay away from when we're working inside the car if we don't know that the car has been secured, okay? Like we talked about a little bit earlier, there's capacitors that store energy. So some people say 5 minutes until it's de-energized. I say never, right? We're just gonna stay, it's always gonna be alive, okay? So we always want to stay out of those zones as best as we can so we don't, if for some reason the bag does go off and we're in there, it's not going to take us and the patient out, okay? Some bags are different, they're all different sizes. I did a dash bag on a Mustang a couple weeks ago and it was like 34 inches from the dash into the passenger. 3, 2, 1.
Got it.
Woohoo!
There's like a quarter pound on it.
Real hot, those things get up to like 2100 degrees, okay? So if you guys roll up on them real quick and those things just went off, stay away from grabbing those things without gloves on, things like that. That was a pretty weak bag, didn't go out too far, but you saw how fast it came out. Some of them up to 200 miles an hour. So you guys all seen the B-post blowout? 5th door, 3rd door. All right, who wants to run the tool? Come on with it. So, how can we make purchase points on this door without using a Halligan tool? Just that spreader in your hand.
Squeeze.
Squeeze, right?
Squeeze the middle right there, and then we'll pull it in that way.
Okay. What about a vertical lift? Put the bottom jaw here and then take the top one all the way into the roof panel and spread that out. See what happens. Perfect purchase point, right? Didn't use a tool. I wasn't slamming anything into the car to make a purchase point. I just used the hydraulic tools that our chiefs bought us, okay? Perfect way to do it. It had no intrusion into my passenger space, right? The tool stayed outside of the vehicle. Gave me perfect up here. So now just come into here and start working this way down until you get to the nadir. If the spread's working, go ahead and pop it. If not, we'll cut it. Perfect. So, B-post blowout. That would have been my first maneuver right there. Vertical lift is what I call it. Gained access. That would have been 1. Door pop or to cut the nadir would have been 2. Now we're going to come into here. We're going to feel and peek everything, right? You guys ever heard that? So I got a seatbelt tensioner in there. We'll be okay as long as we cut down low with the rocker panel. Where's my cutter going? Okay. So as long as we cut down low, we'll clear that. So my next one is going to be a cut into the B-post as low to the rocker panel as possible and in line with it without cutting into the rocker. Now we need that cut down low. Now I'd probably stick a step chalk underneath this rocker so I don't blow it to the ground. So now our next move is going to be the blowout. Jesus. So what we want to do with our spreader is come in on an angle, and I want to catch the bottom of that cut where I made on the B-post in either the rocker panel or this back down here where the lower seat is, and literally blow this B-post up and out like a wing door, okay? Sometimes if you can't get into the cut, you can go to the bottom hinge on the door in here, and we'll do the same thing. Good. Did you see what he did? Just tore all that metal from the B-post and the rocker panel. It lumped a little here, just because the way it was cut. It's not a big deal, but come in there and make a snip with those cutters real quick. If you get a good spread on it, you'll literally just tear all that away, and then it'll free the bottom of the B-post up. And we're going to come in and cut this.
seatbelt?
Yep. So both doors, depots, all in one. Full side removal, right? I can get patients out laying down, whatever. It's the best method right there. Usually it doesn't tear like that. Sometimes it does like it did in this one, so you have to make a couple extra snips. But normally we've been in 1, 2, 3, 4, come back 5, and now you have both doors of depots. Works real well. Again, if we can reinforce that rocker when we do that push or that blowout, helps us out because that stuff tends to want to blow out and go to the ground. So now let's take the rest of these. Let's take these 2 hinges. Seen a dash lift? Or you guys do dash rolls most of the time with a ram?
Dash roll.
Put the ram into the B post, right? And then catch this A post here. So when you do a B post blowout, there's nothing to push off of anymore, right? So we do a dash lift or a dash jack. So come and take a chunk out of here, your cutters. See how that car moves? What did you hit? Spring, right? Reposition it a little bit so the bottom of the dog's not on the string. Cut just above the bottom hinge, in line on that.
Who's next?
Spreader. Now bring your tips right into that cut, but keep your tool as level as possible. This way.
Somebody?
Alyssa.
Straight into it.
Okay.
Tool is level to start off with. There you go. So what should we put under there? Caribbean, right? It's okay. Sometimes you have to do this. So if you can't get movement out of the dash, we'll take the floor down, okay? Away from the feet. But if we would have cribbed that up, you would have transferred that energy straight to the ground, and this thing would have came straight up. And we'll do that on the other side. We'll grab the step shock off my truck, and that way you can see the dash movement on the other side. But this is okay. You move the floor away from the feet rather than the dash, okay? Works great. I didn't have to get a ram and change out the ram with my hoses and all of that. I just use my spreader and my cutter for everything nowadays, okay? We did the fender crush here to eliminate some of the structural integrity in the strut tower reinforced area, which we'll do it on the other side, and you'll see this thing go to the sky. So let's do the same thing over there. Take the chunk out of the A post with the cutter, another low cut just above the hinge, and then I'll get a step shock and we'll. See how the angle of our metal is? We always want our tool to stay. So move your leg out of there. So with this tool, so when we have it real quick. So tools are heavy. Just put them into our object and rest it there, okay? Don't try to put your knee under here, because if this tool moves, it's going to move your knee with it, okay? You're not going to stop this tool. So insert it, step away, and use your hand. Okay?
Yeah, guys. How long do the batteries terrible rider?
About 6.5 minutes continuous use. But as you can see, you got to get used to using the batteries, because every time you turn that start wheel, you're taking batteries out the way. Yep.
A little nervous about it?
And go to the handle. Now all you're doing is catching it when it falls. Just above that hinge, yeah.
We have the rubber one.
Slow down and then stop. Keep going.
I don't know if you finished the cut or not. Yep. Spreader.
Right behind you.
Anything is left.
It's like jumping.
You just see all this metal standing in here?
Yeah.
We're just we're just lifting the car, so get that bottom one under there. Pretty good movement.
Nice.
I'd say so. It's just all about getting the tool in the right spot and transferring that energy to make sure we get good metal behind the tips. Again, we probably only needed an inch. Got about 4 or 5 there. Didn't ever have to use my ram. Just use my cutters and my spreader, which pretty much the majority of us leave hooked up on our rigs. So, a couple different ways we can do things, right? We can still could have come back if I didn't get enough. Now I can put my ram against the B post, back to my A, and finish the roll there if I needed more. Oh, questions? The battery time is about 6.5 minutes continuous use. So everything is with these battery tools is you got to make your spreads and your cuts count, right? So if I'm making multiple cuts, I'm looking at what's going to be my next cut. So when I'm backing out my tool, I only open it to what I'm going to need to go into my next cut, rather than all the way open, things like that. So we just got to pay attention to it. But you notice. With these battery tools, I can do this all day long, right?
Yeah.
No hoses, no nothing here. Here's a spreader, right? Pass it around. Batteries are going to be the biggest issue, but they're really not when we get good with them, okay? And it goes for any of the tools. Coolness?